What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for listening to Your Ex-Drinking Buddy. My name is Brennan Tassif. I'll be your host. Subscribe, rate, and review wherever you get your podcast. Check out the merch store at brennantcomedy.com/merch-store. And make sure you subscribe on YouTube as well. We'll put the shorts up there, the full video, the whole thing. Thank you so much for listening. I love it. I hope you love it. Subscribe on Patreon, too. We do bonus episodes. I do Tales from the Restaurant, where I talk about celebrities I've waited on and whether they're assholes or not, which is super fun. Also, we do a pre-show banter for my other show, Cheers from the Press Box with Joe Dorville. A lot of behind-the-scenes stuff going on over there, too. Make sure you just subscribe everywhere, just all over the place. I greatly appreciate it. And if you're not leaving the mean comments, thank you for that. Maybe leave a couple nice ones.
Grab me a beer and grab him a coke. We bout to sit for an hour, bullshit and tell jokes. And please don't mix it up, cause he done sobered up. Brennan T Comedy on your social media feeds. And Brennan Tassif is your ex-drinking buddy. Brennan Tassif is your ex-drinking buddy. Brennan Tassif is your ex-drinking buddy. Brennan Tassif is your ex-drinking buddy.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into another edition of Brennan Tassif is Your Ex-Drinking Buddy. I'm your host, Brennan Tassif. If you're new to the program, quick rundown of the show. I used to be everyone's favorite drinking buddy. It was my favorite thing to do, hang out with friends, get drunk, do drugs, get in all sorts of trouble, and then reminisce about those crazy stories.
Fire.
I am sober now, but it's still one of my favorite things to do, hang out with a guest and reminisce about the crazy old days. Most weeks I will be joined by a guest. This week is no exception. All the way from New York City, Peter James Fowler.
What's up, dude?
What's
Thank
up,
you
dude?
for having me, bro.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Can we do that again? We just get gay, dude. We start kissing.
Start kissing.
Thank you for having me on, bro. This
Thank
is
you
very
for coming
fire.
on, man.
I love your apartment.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And this building's cool, too. It's all over Queens. They have a lot of these.
Yeah, like these little
Pretty sick.
U-shaped kind of weird buildings. Welcome to the new studio.
Very sick, bro.
Yeah.
Very sick. I like that. It's very cool.
These
Sorry,
are all
can't
the
see any of this.
these
but
are
I'm
all
like,
the podcasts that I do on the left. That's my one-man show on the right, and then
Power of How?
The Power of How is something I did with Daniel Torado and Matt Fulcher on.
Okay.
It was a positivity
Are
podcast.
they comedians?
Yeah.
Oh, I feel
Matt's
bad now. I feel bad now.
Matt's LA guy. He ended
Okay.
up moved back to LA, and then Daniel has 2 kids, so it kind of
Yeah.
we don't do the show anymore. Is what I'm trying
Okay,
to
but
say.
it was. Sounds
But it
pretty
was.
cool.
It was a fun positivity show.
I like it, bro.
We were called the Legion of Thanks.
Legion of Thanks.
Kind of taking shots at people who are always like just negative all the time
Yeah.
online. We were like, let's
Who are
be
those
happy.
people? Who
I
are
don't.
you
I don't.
taking- yeah,
I
who
have
you
no
taking shots
idea.
at, bro. Dude, thank you for having me on. Though. This
Of
is very
course,
cool.
plug everything up front. Social media, the whole
I
deal.
have really nothing to plug. I am a stand-up comedian, and I'm kind of good.
Yeah, you're very funny.
Thank
I
you,
fucking
bro,
laugh every
bro.
time I watch
Stop,
you.
dude. Stop. But yeah, follow me on Instagram at Peter James Fowler and on TikTok. I just hit 14K on TikTok.
Dude,
bro.
congrats,
It's
bro.
so low, dude. It's so low. Everybody else is like literally 100,000 that I know. But yeah,
I keep
follow me on
losing followers on TikTok.
Bro, I post and then I lose, and
Yeah.
then it's like fucking a battle constantly. dude.
yeah.
That's so funny. Yeah, but follow me on Instagram at Peter James Fowler and on TikTok at Peter James Fowler.
And then you're a regular at the Stand.
Yes, I do stand up there
Yeah.
sometimes.
What other clubs are you at primarily in New York?
Dude, a lot of my friend shows, and then I'm at Rodney's sometimes.
Okay.
And that's pretty much it, bro. No, St. Mark's a lot too.
Okay,
I
cool.
wanna
Yeah,
plug
so
St.
St.
Mark's.
Mark's,
St. Mark's
the
is fire,
Stand.
by
Yeah,
the way.
it's a great
Really
place.
cool
Yeah,
place,
for sure.
And they're chill.
I wanted to have you on because we were talking about this before.
Mm-hmm.
You just recently hit a year sober.
Yeah, I'm
Congratulations. It was
Very
a
boring,
long
bro.
road to get there.
Dude,
but,
it was brutal. Yeah.
well, let's talk before we get into the sobriety and all that kind of stuff because
Yeah.
we'll get into that. But I want to talk about you because you're obviously a lot younger than I am. When I first moved to New York 3 years ago, I saw
Yeah.
you at the Stand and like one of the first
Yeah.
shows I watched, and I was like, oh my god, this like child is fucking hilarious. It was, I mean, to me, because I was like in my 30s, and I was like, dude, this guy's fucking a killer.
Dude, thank you.
Yeah,
bro.
and
you're good too, dude.
Well, I appreciate it, but you had that bit about being like where you're from in Arizona and the horses and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
dude, that was one of the funniest
surprised you
things.
remember that,
yeah,
dude.
of course.
That's crazy.
But I remember I talked to you a couple times, and you had a lot of bits about like doing drugs and like partying
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And then how did you get to New York? Is what I want to get down to,
Bro, so this is actually interesting.
Because
No
you're
one's
from
ever
a
asked
small
this.
town in
Yeah,
Arizona.
I'm from Wickenburg, Arizona.
Shouts out.
Bro, shout out Wickenburg, dude. Bro, if I ever pop off, they're going to go on the map. And everybody from Wickenburg hates me, dude. They think I'm a fucking loser. And Wickenburg people will like comment on my Instagram videos or my TikTok videos and be like, we hate this guy.
Really?
Yes, dude.
Why? That's insane to me because you made it out.
But they like think I'm like I don't know. I don't think they think that like I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
And I don't think they have an idea of like what that is like.
That it's crazy
Yeah.
to me because I run into this at the restaurant all the time when people will talk about like I'll be like if they ask, I'm always looking to get people to follow me or go to a show.
Yeah.
So if they're like, "Oh, what brought you to New York?" Immediately I'm like comedy, which is a
Yeah.
dumb move because then they're always like, "Tell us a
Yeah,
joke."
yeah.
But I'm trying to get people to come out to stuff.
Yeah.
So, but it's so funny you say that because they'll be like, "Where do you perform?" And I'm like, "Oh, Broadway Comedy Club, Greenwich Village Comedy Club, sometimes
Yeah.
at Rodney's." And they're like, "We've never heard of any of those." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's not the fucking Cellar.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, I'm not past
Yeah.
it." But it's like to my friends who know comedy, they're like, "Oh, you're doing like." If someone were to ask me, "Hey, is Peter James Fowler doing well?" I'd be like, "Yeah, man, he's past the second best club in the city, which makes it the second best club in the world. Like, yeah, he's doing pretty fucking good."
You're doing all right.
But people from back home who don't understand it are just like,
Yeah.
"Whoa."
Yeah. I also think they think I'm disrespectful towards the town and
Towards
the
Wickham.
culture. But I'm not. I love it, bro.
Yeah.
And I would like if I'm ever on like a big platform, I'm gonna push like all the restaurants in
Yeah,
Wickenburg.
you're like,
Which,
yeah, you
I'd
love
like,
it.
go to fucking El Ranchero, dude.
So how did you, before we get
Okay,
into how you
yeah,
got
yeah.
into New York, how did
Sorry.
you even get into
I'm
stand-up?
super ADHD. And
No,
I
I got
go all
you.
over the
Don't worry.
place.
I've been doing this a long time.
I started doing stand-up when I was in high school. I was like my senior year of high school.
How did you find it, though? Because it is a niche thing. To us, it's our whole
bro,
world.
I called club. Well, actually, my older sister, I was writing jokes, and I sent her some of these jokes.
Yeah.
And she was like kind of always pushing me, and she always did something
Your
different.
older
with her
sister who
life.
just got married?
No, it's a different older sister. Also, that's a fake, bro. I got so many things to talk about, dude. But yeah, so my older sister was like, "You should go do these jokes that I've been writing," and I was like 17 and I started writing jokes.
Okay, so you just out of nowhere were just like, "Oh, I think this is funny."
I was obsessed with stand-up.
Okay, how
Even
did you
more
find
so than I am
stand-up?
now? YouTube.
Okay, all right.
YouTube,
Yeah.
bro. Just like YouTube nerd.
I always ask
internet
because
nerd.
when I was younger, it was Comedy Central Presents.
Yeah,
and then
no.
I have people on, and it was like Spotify. And
Yeah.
then even younger than that, it was like YouTube Shorts and stuff like
well,
that.
I didn't have a TV most of my childhood because my parents were really religious. But then I got a
Yeah.
phone and I could go on YouTube.
Okay.
And then
So
I
you
just
found it on
exploded.
YouTube, and you were
Yeah.
like, "Oh, this is cool."
This is cool. I saw like Eddie Murphy. I saw like all the goats. I saw
Yeah.
Kevin Hart's old shit. Kevin Hart's
Yeah.
old shit is fire. People don't
Dude.
talk about that. Yeah.
Say it with your chest.
Yeah.
People still say that. That's
Yeah.
from his first special, like his first big special from like
Yeah. Oh yeah.
12, 15 years
Yeah.
ago. Say it with your chest.
And remember when everybody was doing like the cock mic?
Yeah.
Everybody was doing the cock mic. Yeah.
So then you
Yeah.
started writing jokes, and then your older
my
sister was like,
signed me up for an open mic.
"Oh, that's awesome."
And then the club was like, "You're not old enough to perform here."
How
So
old were you?
I was
17? Yeah.
And then so I had to wait till I didn't know though that I could go to other spots. So I waited
Yeah.
till I was 18. I wrote some more, and then I went to a club. I signed up for like
What club?
Stand Up Live in Phoenix, which is
Okay.
like a
How far is
600
that?
That's like an hour and a half drive from where I was from.
Okay, so you were like,
Yeah.
"I'm doing it."
Yeah, for sure. And nobody would come see me, and it was a brainer show. But I got like 3 people, and they let me go last because
Yeah.
the guy just like felt bad for me because I was so young.
You drove an hour and a half.
Yeah,
and you're 18.
nobody. But
Yeah.
some people came. Like some people from my work came, which is so cool. My parents wouldn't come. They were like, "Fuck no, we're not coming. All your jokes are that you told us are insane." It was like jokes about like what making fun of like the Holocaust and shit.
Yeah,
dude. Like
yeah.
insane.
We've all
jokes,
been there when
dude.
we start out.
Dude,
Yeah,
I was in high school. Sorry, I'm not.
We
I do
were
not
all
think
trying to
it's
be
funny.
Anthony Jeselnik at
Dude,
one
I had
point.
a joke about jacking off to like a Holocaust documentary. Like insane.
I mean,
shit,
the
dude.
structure is there. Your parents are religious.
Yeah, no.
You couldn't watch porn.
Yeah.
The people in the Holocaust
Only
are
thing
naked.
they're gonna let me.
Yeah. I got
That's
you.
really
I see
funny.
where you. I tracked
That's
the
funny,
bit.
dude. Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
really funny, bro. That's way deeper than I had thought about it. But yeah, I went and did this Brunner show. It was like 300 people in the audience.
Damn!
I did pretty decently. So I just kept doing it and doing it. And I did like a couple years.
Is this back at Phoenix? Are
Yeah,
you
this
driving
is
to Phoenix all the time?
Yeah, I ended up dropping out of high school because I was like, I'm gonna be on the road,
Yeah.
headlining any day now. And so I worked during the day.
Our
and
minds
then-
are so crazy.
Yeah, dude.
Any minute now.
Bro, dude, the fact that like nobody was like, you have issues is crazy. My family was like, my parents kind of were like, he might do this.
Oh, really?
Still to this day, bro. They're
Oh,
very
that's
much
awesome.
like, he might pull this off.
Mine are very supportive, but it was in like it took a while to get there. Because, I doing
Yeah.
drugs and drinking and stuff, they were kind of like, yeah, okay, whatever. But then when I moved to New York and stuff, they were like, oh, no, he's actually going to,
Yeah.
I think he's trying to do this.
Yeah.
So, but yours from jump were like, go get it.
No, my mom had like this like doubt, but also this like weird underlying belief.
That's awesome.
That like all her kids are geniuses.
Yeah.
Which we're not. But she's kind of like, you guys can do anything. So when she, like that stereotype of parents being like, you can do anything
Yeah.
you want. She like actually, is
She
like-
lived it.
She's
She didn't
like,
talk about
you
it.
guys
She
can
was
do it. I
about it.
can't.
Yeah.
She's like, I can't do anything, but you guys.
You guys.
So yeah, I started doing stand up. in
So
Arizona.
you dropped out of high school. What grade? Or junior or senior?
Senior year.
Senior
dude,
year.
Like, really close to finishing.
You were
dude,
like
yeah.
just about out.
I
and you're
just
like,
checked
I'm
out
done.
mentally, dude. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And I was like paying other kids to like do all my work, and then the tests would come, I couldn't do them. So I was just like, I gotta get out of this.
So what did you end up doing as far as like, were you driving to Phoenix? Was there stuff
I ended
around
up
Wickenburg?
moving to Phoenix after high school. Well, I got arrested for possession of marijuana, and my parents were like, okay, you gotta get away from
When
us.
was that?
That was right after my senior year of high school.
Okay.
And then they were like, you got to get out of here. I went to go live with my brother, and then I went to go live with my grandpa for like 2 months.
Okay.
And then I just got my own apartment. So I just was like saving up, working.
And this is in Phoenix?
Yeah, this is.
Okay.
And then I lived in Tempe in like ASU area, which was the sickest time of my life.
Dude.
Yeah. And all this time I was just doing stand up. And then I got passed at the clubs pretty early. And then I was just working.
What was that feeling like to be 18 years old?
Yeah, I opened for a tell when I was 18.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like, what is that
crazy.
when the club comes to you and they go, "Hey, Peter, you know what we're gonna do? Hey, PD, we're gonna make you paid regular." What was that like?
In Arizona, so I worked at one of the comedy clubs as like a busser, as like a food runner.
Yeah.
And I would do stand up on like their open mics and shit.
Yeah.
And I started just like kind of doing decently, and then I became really close with the manager and the booker, and then he was like. Then a tell was coming through, and he surprised me one day, and he was like, hey, tomorrow you're going to open up for a tell for the whole weekend. And I was like, so scared. I bombed the whole weekend. Dude, and then, a tell was like, this is really funny. I bombed so fucking hard, a tell started coaching me.
Oh, really?
On like how to do crowd work. Because he felt so bad because I was like, fucking right out of high school, dude. I was like right out of high school. And he starts coaching me about like how to do stand up. He actually ended up getting me in the stand.
That's
like,
awesome.
a crazy
Yeah.
Story. I haven't seen him around in forever.
Yeah.
But
I see him randomly because I do a lot of the mics on McDougal, so I see him randomly out there. Yeah.
I pass him by, but I never bother him now because I'm just like, you
I
did
can't.
enough, dude.
Yeah. Well, and that's also the thing. Like, I remember when I first moved here, I was lucky enough to get booked on a show at Fat Black.
That's fire.
So it's still cool. Like the Cellars in the
Yeah.
background and stuff, and it's like one of the biggest accomplishments I've had it since I got in New York.
That's
between
sick.
doing shows at the Stand and then I, can say I did a show at the Cellar. But it was so funny because Dave was on the show. And so obviously I do my set, I come off, I go to sit at the table, and Dave's sitting, not the table, but like a table in the Fat Black lounge. And Dave is sitting there getting ready to do his spot. And we're just talking. And for a brief moment in time, I was like, I'm a fucking New York comic.
Yeah, this is crazy.
And I was like trying so hard to be like, what do I do so that like when I pass him in the street later, I can be like, what's up, Dave? And he says hi. Nothing.
Yeah,
There's nothing you can do.
Nor do you want that.
And yeah, exactly. And so now when I see him, I just go, hey, Dave. And he just goes, and just keeps walking. I'm like, that's fine. I'll take it.
That's
I'll
so
take
funny,
it.
dude.
I have that one moment.
That's so fucking
So for
funny.
you,
Very cool, though.
But what was that feeling like when they say like not even the Dave thing, but just getting passed in general? Because that's something a lot of people who listening maybe don't understand. That's what we strive for.
I don't know, dude. I never really cared for getting in a club. I don't really think it means much.
I think that's why you're so good is because you don't
know,
you don't care about a lot of the political stuff when it comes to like clubs and bookings and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that
You're kind of like, I'm just gonna go be funny. All right, cool.
Yeah, I really do think about that, and I'm kind of just wrapped up in my own life.
Yeah.
And what's going on in it, and I don't really like think about like, oh, being in this club means anything because I don't think it does.
Yeah, you're right.
It doesn't really mean anything.
It doesn't,
dude.
especially with the internet now.
Dude, nothing means anything ever, anytime.
You've become a nihilist in your sobriety.
Bro, I'm gonna kill myself.
We're all gonna die.
But yeah, I
The
don't know.
world is empty and meaningless.
I think I probably felt good about it.
Yeah.
But most likely I was probably like,
whatever, man.
Yeah, it was like
my
fucking-
mom was right. This is what happens.
I'm a fucking superstar.
So then, when do you make the decision? I'm gonna move to New York.
Oh, so actually, COVID happens. I lose everything, shuts down.
Yeah.
No more stand up. I lose my job. I move back to Wickenburg with my parents because I have no way of making money. And then the government sends me like $10,000, and then they just keep sending me money. So I had all this money, and I was like, I'm just gonna move to New York.
Beautiful.
And I just fucking moved to New York with like a suitcase, dude.
Yeah.
I just show up with a fucking suitcase.
That's how you do it, man.
And I stayed in like a place for like 2 weeks where it was
What year
literally
is
like
this?
a hostel. Dude, I don't even know, man.
So
Probably
the
like 3 or
pandemic
4
started in like
4 years ago, maybe.
Okay, so 2021.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah,
probably
because
like
that's when I got
20
here.
At the end, kind of
Like-
as it was wrapping up.
Yeah, that's because that's when I got here too. Yeah.
Okay, very
So when I
fire.
saw you at the Stand, that probably was within
I
the
got
first 6 months you
in
were
quick,
here.
dude. Yeah, I got in really quick.
Okay, so you move here. You said you're staying at a hostel. Where were you living? Like where about?
Bed-Stuy. I was in
Okay.
Bed-Stuy, and then I quickly got an apartment, and then
Yeah, especially then. They're
Yeah.
like, yeah, we don't care.
Because
Move in.
I got a job, and then all the apartments were like, we can't have you move here unless you have a job, even
Yeah.
though you have all this money. So then I got here, I got a job, got an apartment, and it was brutal. And I like lost all my money immediately. I
Yeah,
could spend
of
it
course.
all. I did not realize. I tried, dude, eating fruit in New York City will drain your bank account.
Dude. Yeah.
Trying to just have a normal diet in New York City.
It's insane. I tell people all the time, I'm always like, because we don't drive cars. So I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, the rent, everyone's like, your rent's crazy. I go, the rent isn't a big issue.
The rent's not the issue
Because
at
if
all.
you-
'Cause
if
you can
you-
find loopholes.
Exactly. And if you take out like car insurance,
Yeah.
you're saving like $600 a month, and then you just put that towards rent.
Yeah.
It's the day to day. It's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
food.
yeah, yeah.
It's the shit. It's raining. I need an
Yeah.
umbrella. $30. And
Water
you're like,
bottles.
What the fuck? Yeah,
Yeah.
water. It's
Yeah.
like $5, and you're like,
Yeah.
come on, man.
It's insane, yeah.
It's the day to day that
The
gets
food.
You. Sorry,
You're good.
the plant.
The plant just fucked me up, dude. The plant.
So you got here. You moved to. We gonna have
Bro,
a
you
fucking
good,
problem.
dude? You good, bro? Bro, Queens is dangerous, dude.
The
Queens
story
dangerous.
is just on fire.
Bro.
So you get an apartment in Bed-Stuy.
Yeah.
And then what? Like you said, you got passed pretty quickly at the stand. So
Yeah.
what was that like when you got
So
here?
I was doing open mics in parks at the very bottom.
Yeah.
Everybody treated me like shit. I came in kind of with an ego because I was like, I've been opening
Yeah,
for all these guys.
I
And then
opened for Dave Attell. I don't know
Yeah.
if you guys have heard of him.
Yeah, and then I quickly got reset. But then I knew some guys that I had opened for that were really nice to me, like Ricky Velez was
Yeah.
really nice to me. I think that's the only one. There were other guys that just didn't live in New York or
Yeah.
ignored me, but
Yeah.
like rightly so. But for some reason, Ricky was really nice to me. One night I was just hanging out in front of the stand watching a patio show.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, previously I had been watching another patio show, and I met Adele, and I was like, oh, I've opened for Dave Attell before. And then she asked him about me, and Dave Attell was like, that kid's really good, which is not true. Dave Attell had only seen me bomb and literally had to coach me, dude, about how to do stand-up because I was so fucking bad, and I was going to ruin his entire weekend. So, but he did this incredible thing for no reason. I think he was just like,
He wrecked you
Yeah.
on a whim.
bro, out of pure lies, dude. Like, I think it's because he was impressed that I moved here.
Yeah.
And he told me like 6 times, because I ended up opening for him a couple times when he would come back to Arizona, and every time he was like, do not move to New York. You will do badly there. You're not built for it.
Yeah.
Go to LA. And I was like, no, dude, I'm going to New York.
Fuck yeah, man.
And then I went here, and then he got me in, and then another, or he told
He
her
was
that.
like, yeah, this is the least I could do.
So he tells her that. I have no idea. So I never go back there
Yeah.
because I don't know this exchange has happened, which I would have got in immediately
Yeah.
based on that reaction. I didn't know that though. And then I'm hanging out there like 6 months later. I've been in New York for like 6 months. dude.
Yeah.
Literally my 3rd day in New York, I went to the stand to watch one of their patio shows during COVID. And then I'm hanging out there and watching another patio show. Ricky's walking in. No idea he's there. And he goes, dude, come inside with me. And then they bring me downstairs. And then I met the owner. I met everybody.
Yeah.
And then within like a couple months, I was like working the club.
Dude, that's
Yeah.
fucking sick.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Very cool. They're all very nice people.
Yeah.
That's like all it is.
I mean, it's my favorite club to go to, and I say
Yeah.
this all the time. Like everyone knows the Cellar because of the history and stuff, but I like the Stand because it's a lot more welcoming and inviting. The
Yeah,
Cellar, you
very
almost
cool
feel like
club.
you're trying to sit at the cool kids table in high school.
You are,
and
dude,
everyone's
yeah.
like, "Who the fuck do
Those
you
are
think
the
you
cool.
are?"
There's a lot of cool kids
Yeah,
there, though, dude.
there's a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
cool kids
Like
in there.
Jerry Seinfeld, you should not sit down at that table, dude. And people are like, "Oh, they're so mean there," and I'm like, "Well, Jerry and Chris Rock are sitting at the table. Maybe don't sit down at
right?
that table. They've known each other for 30 years. They don't know you, dude. Don't
They
sit
don't
down.
know
Yeah.
you.
Nor do
Even
they
some of
want
the
to.
like people who aren't like, I mean, they're still household names, but not to that level. Like even like you walk in there and you'll see like Andrew
your
Schultz and Mark
friend.
Norman and
You'll
Shane
see your
Gillis, and
friend.
you're like, yeah, I'm not sitting there.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
I'm not doing that.
You got to be the funniest part. You better be ready to just crush, dude.
Yeah.
You better be ready to just go in there and be the chillest person on planet Earth.
So you get past to the Stand, and while all this is happening, you obviously, as we've kind of touched on, you were dealing with some stuff that you had
Yeah.
going on. I want to go back though because we talked about kind of the stand up and how you got to where you are now. But you said you got arrested like
Yeah.
your senior year of high school.
Yeah.
When did you start smoking weed?
Okay, I started smoking weed when I was like probably like 15, 16 maybe.
Okay. And how did that happen? Because you grew up in a religious household.
My friend Jake Brom, bro.
Shout out Jake Brom.
Jake Brom is the man. Shout out Jake Brom. He will never see this.
Okay.
But he doesn't watch it. He's like fucking living a life and shit like that. But
You're gonna text me in an hour and be like, "Hey, that Jake Brom thing, man. Can you
yeah,
take
can we
that
take
out?"
that out, dude?
That's
No.
why I checked my watch.
But Jake Brom just started pressuring me to smoke weed, and I was like, I don't want to fucking do it, dude.
Did you grow up, because you said your parents were religious.
Yeah.
Were you religious growing
Yeah,
up?
I really believed. But
Okay.
then I kind of was like, got a little older, and I was like, this is all stupid.
Like around that same
About
time?
16.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they didn't have anything to do with each other. I wasn't like, God's not real. I'm going to smoke weed. But yeah.
It's all lies.
Yeah.
I'm going to get high.
But then I started smoking weed, and then I started just hanging out
Did
with
you like it the first time you smoked it?
Bro, I would get so high. It was great.
Yeah.
It was really fire. It was really,
I would
cool.
get paranoid. I was always, and listeners have heard this before, but when I got, because I was so anti everything through high school.
Say for a while.
And because I got bullied, I didn't have a lot of friends, and then like even my siblings would like go to parties and stuff, and I was like, well, the people you hang out with and stuff are the same kind of people that bully me. Like I don't want to be around that.
Yeah.
And then like my ex stepdad would get drunk and like do mean shit, so I was like, I just don't want to have anything.
Sorry, I laughed at
Well,
that.
no, but it's funny. I mean, I have a whole bit about it. I'm like a superhero because of my hyper awareness, but my origin story doesn't make for a good Netflix show because it's like, yeah, my stepdad got drunk and beat the shit out of us. That's not like a fun Netflix show.
I mean, dude,
I didn't
I'd
get hit.
watch it.
I didn't get bit by a radioactive spider. I just got hit in the face.
Yeah. That's
but
funny. I got punched by my dad.
so I just didn't drink. I was like, it's
Yeah.
poison. I don't want anything to do with it.
Interesting.
And then I tried it, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. So in
fire.
college, I had a roommate who was a big weed guy.
Yeah.
And I tried to smoke with him, but I would just get so paranoid, and I was like, I'm just going to drink. Like,
Definitely
I'm
a
going to stick to
different-
drinking.
Yeah, it's definitely a different thing.
Because I had gotten so used to just drinking all the
Yeah.
time that then when I tried weed, I was like, just staring
Yeah.
out at the people. Like, they're coming. They're all coming for us.
Yeah, I was kind of the opposite. I didn't
Yeah.
really drink, and I went to drugs before I ever really drank.
Okay.
Because I would get really sick from drinking.
Yeah.
Because you throw up in the early days of
Yeah, oh,
drinking.
yeah.
You get really hungover.
When was the first time you drank?
Probably like around 16.
Okay.
But I didn't do it. It didn't become like a regular
So
habit.
you get drunk the first time, you get a little too hammered, you wake up and you're super hungover.
Yeah, I'm like,
and you're
let's not do that again.
Yeah, like fuck this.
Did some crazy shit last night.
I smoke weed like crazy and
Called
I feel
Amanda a
fine.
whore at the party.
Fucking Amanda,
Fucking
man.
Amanda's mad at me now, dude.
She won't talk to me.
Yeah, and I wanted to fuck her, dude. And I just called her a whore.
I've done that before.
Yeah, for real, dude. Some girl you're in love with, you actually just
Oh
call
my
her a whore.
god! This one time in college, I don't think I've ever told this story. This one time in college, there's this girl that I was in love with, and my rule when I was playing college football was like, I'm not going to get a girlfriend. I want to experience life because I didn't get to
you
do
just
that in
wanna
high
smash,
school. I
yeah.
just wanted to like party and hang out and
Very cool.
yeah.
Yo, dude, respect.
And this girl that I was like in love with, I remember we were in a twin bed because we were living on campus. And she moved a certain way. Like we were just like laying down and she moved. And I said, come on, you do this all the time with dudes. You know how to lay in a twin bed. She got up and just walked out.
Yeah,
and I was
that's
like,
great.
no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you can't call her a whore, right? You can call her a whore when you're fucking her,
But
but
not
not right before.
Dude, and she we were no longer
Yeah.
she just didn't talk to me anymore. And I was like, I'm going to come back. It was bad.
That's really funny, dude.
So
I definitely, I don't know. I've never done that, but I've definitely had some
Well,
mean
it's
shit said.
trying to be funny and
Yeah.
you cross the line.
Yeah, you
I mean,
just-
even with Tracy, my girlfriend now, who I'm contractually
Bro,
obligated.
all the time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, all the time.
I'll make a joke. And we actually had to have a conversation about it early in our relationship where she was like, you can't, that's not funny.
Yeah,
and I
it's
go,
not cool.
This is, but I had to explain. I was like, this is how I cope with things is to make jokes.
Really?
And so, because that's,
Bro, you're a master
it's
manipulator, dude.
my, it's
you
my
could just be
natural
like,
reaction,
you could just be like,
though.
yeah, I'll work on that.
No.
That's what I say. I go, yeah, dude, I'll try to be better about that instead of being like,
But
this
that's
is
a
my
lie.
way.
You're
I feel
lying.
good. No, I will try to work. No, I try, but then I try for like 2 months and then
You stop.
I just
Yeah.
forget that I was trying to do that.
That's
Bro,
the name
my
of the
girl got
episode.
mad at me.
I forgot I was trying.
Bro, for real. My girl got mad at me because I am really bad at doing the dishes.
Yeah.
And she's like, we've had so many conversations about this. And I'm like, bro, I genuinely, what sucks about these, when they're like, hey, you're bad at this, is I am trying so hard. And there'll still be grease or little spot of food on the dishes. And she's like, that's
Oh,
so
so you're
unhealthy.
doing them, but you're doing them badly.
So badly, dude. My mom always did the dishes, so I don't fucking know what I'm doing, dude.
That's how you should respond.
Dude, no, bro. You don't want to be like that. I don't want to be a man boy that's like, well, my mom did
I
everything
know,
for
no,
me.
I
gotta,
know.
like, be like, I know how to do dishes.
I can do the dishes.
Yeah, I grew up doing dishes. Like, I know how to clean my room. I used to clean my room.
So you start smoking weed, you start drinking around 16. When you start performing at the clubs and stuff,
Yeah.
do you start getting way more into partying or less into it because you're like, oh, I'm focused on
Yeah,
comedy?
I start, for some reason, just like this anxiety starts to just like creep into my life. Used to do a pretty good amount of drugs about like the time from like 19 to 20.
Yeah.
I would start doing cocaine with some of my friends and shit like that. I think I did cocaine when I was like 16 too, a couple times,
Wow.
which is interesting.
Yeah.
And then I got really into acid and shrooms. Like when I broke with weed, I was like, I want to try everything.
Yeah.
Except alcohol. I would still
It's
drink,
almost
but
like it's a gateway drug.
it is, bro. It's a gateway to a good time. I'm kidding.
There it is.
I don't smoke anymore because I
Yeah.
think that if I smoke, I'll drink.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I started just doing drugs, and I got in New York, and then I kind of really started to drink
Okay.
a lot because
So when you-
alcohol was free everywhere.
Yeah, because you're performing, so
Yeah.
they just give it to you.
For free.
So I wanted to
Crazy.
ask, because this is interesting to me, and I think this is something the listeners might want to know. You get all the money from the pandemic, like a lot of us did, the
Yeah.
stimmies.
So many shrooms. I just bought a lot.
So
of
that's
fucking
okay.
shrooms
So that's
and
what
a
you
lot of
spent.
weed, yeah.
All right, because we kind of were joking about how New York can take your money really quickly, but if you're doing extracurriculars,
Yeah.
it'll go even faster.
Yeah, yeah. I spent a lot of money on shrooms.
So and this is when you're living in Bed-Stuy. And
no,
like,
this is. I started spending money on shrooms when I was like, I went hard on that.
Okay,
During
in
COVID.
Arizona?
During COVID, I was
At your
on.
parents' house?
Dude. Yes, dude. I would be up at like 5 in the morning, dude. My parents wake up early as fuck, and I would just be coming down from a shroom trip, just sitting at the table. My parents would just come out, and I'd be like, "What's up, guys? What's going on?" And they'd be like, "Are you good?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, I just couldn't really sleep." And then it's so awkward, dude.
And then, dude, would you just go upstairs and go to bed for like the whole day?
yeah, dude. They would be like, "Well, I just went to. I don't have an upstairs. I don't know what kind of fucking
You know what I
rich
mean, yeah.
life you come from, dude."
I forgot
But,
Arizona.
yeah,
It's a lot of
fucking
ranch style housing.
white privilege over here, dude. I fucking go
I-
into the
I used to-
room next door, dude.
I used to envy kids with stairs so
yeah,
much.
I had stairs for a second when I was really young, which was fire.
Yeah,
It's really
my
cool.
dad has in the newer house. They have 2 stairs.
Dude, fuck your dad, dude.
Yeah,
That guy
it's
sounds like an
insane.
asshole, dude.
It's
2 stairs?
insane. You
2
have
stairs
one
is
set of
great, yeah.
stairs, and then hang on, wait, there's more, another set.
Which level of the stairs does he reside at?
The bottom.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so the primary bedroom is on the bottom.
Dangerous.
And
I
it
would put
walks
myself
right out
at the top of the tower.
Walks right out to the pool though, so you can't
Okay.
beat that.
He's got a pool and 2 sets of stairs.
Yeah, my dad's
Dude.
doing well.
Why aren't you living with him?
All this, he bought the house after we all moved out. Of course,
I would be
because
45
He
living
didn't
with my
have.
dad.
He didn't have 4 kids yet to support, so
Yeah.
he was like, "Oh, I've got extra
Let
money
me-
now."
Let me buy a mansion.
So you go to so that's interesting to me though, because you grew up in kind of a stricter environment. Your
Yeah.
parents were really religious. Was there any part of your brain like where you were like, "Fuck, I can't let them find out," or did they just not care because
I was
you were
always
older?
so. I mean, I don't really think I was ever like really worried about them finding out because I always kind of did a decent job of like keeping it away.
Yeah.
And I don't even think they would have thought I was doing those things.
Yeah,
So it was kind of like just assumed that I wasn't.
that is a weird thing when people find out the extent to which you have gone.
Yeah.
or which I have.
I mean,
gone.
when I moved, they found like a wrapper of some gummies, and
Yeah.
I was like, "Busted, you got me."
you got me.
Yeah, you got me.
But it's
so
like
sorry.
because I've like snorted heroin, and
Yeah,
I've
dude, that's sick.
I've brought that up before.
Yeah,
And people who know me, who have always known me, even as an alcoholic, are like,
brought up to your parents.
no, not to them directly, but like I talk about it on the show openly
Yeah.
because I'm an open book. And like if people ask me, like, what have you done? Obviously, it's on the list.
Yeah,
But it is interesting when people just, like you said, like keeping it away from people, even like to the extent that it got, like everyone knew I drank a lot and had a good time.
Yeah.
But then when people find out like you've done harder stuff, they're kind of like shocked.
yeah, they're kind of like worried.
Yeah, they're
They're
like,
like, "Geez."
wait, what?
Yeah, that's so funny.
And
dude,
it's interesting too because in my like journey, I fucking hate using that word, but in my experience with recovery and stuff, I've met plenty of people who come from like well-to-do backgrounds and stuff,
Yeah.
and they're addicted to heroin or
Yeah.
to crack, and you're like, yeah, it can get anybody.
Yeah.
It can get everybody. Like,
Yeah, I wonder how you get to heroin. I never fucking made it to there, but it's very cool.
it's a lot of it is through because I played football, so a lot of it is you get all
Injuries?
these painkillers for your injuries because genetically, from a molecular level, it's the same thing. Heroin and like OxyContin.
Yeah.
it's like how Adderall is the same thing as
yeah,
speed.
I've done oxys, never done.
Yeah, so it's
a lot of
it's
Percocet too.
yeah. And all of
great.
those are opioids. They're
Yeah.
basically the same molecular structure. So it's not that big
But
of a
is
jump.
heroin like a totally different high?
Heroin is a very similar high to OxyContin.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Kind of disappointing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought it would be like when they say like it's like a warm blanket or
Yeah,
something like that.
it is. If you take enough oxys, it's like that. If
Yeah.
you crunch them up and snort them, it's like
But
that.
that's not a warm blanket's not enough to like ruin your life. You
Depends
know?
on how many cold nights you got.
Yeah, it's true, dude.
Demerol,
Turn
morphine,
the
all
AC
that.
off, bro. Sounds like I can't get off heroin. Turn off the AC.
That's hilarious, dude. I'm gonna work that into the one-man show. Just turn the AC off.
Yeah.
So then you get to New York. You're doing a lot of shrooms and stuff. What was when were you? Was it you personally, or was it other people when you were kind of like, uh-oh?
Other people for sure.
Okay.
But I started just kind of going out every night,
Mm-hmm.
hanging out, started with like a lot of Adderall just to keep myself going.
Yeah.
And then it turned into just doing coke with friends. And then
Yeah.
like when you're not with your friends, you're doing coke. And then you do a lot of coke, and then you're like, okay, how do I figure out to come down? And then you meet somebody who's like, I got you, dude.
Yeah.
And then they're like, take this Xanax. And then you're like, the Xanax isn't working. And then they're like, take this Percocet. And then,
Yep.
yeah.
It turns into a real slippery slope.
Bro, it's like managing. It becomes like very much like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to come back down here,
Yep.
and then you go back up here, and then before I drop down here, I got to stay right here.
Yeah,
So
you
it's
gotta
like,
just
you start just like
find that
manage it.
perfect
yeah.
mellow.
Yeah, and then the clubs with the free alcohol.
So did you start to build up a tolerance for drinking?
Yeah, I became a really good drinker.
Did
bro.
you?
I went from
Okay.
being a really bad drinker to like I can handle my liquor to like I couldn't if I didn't have drugs.
Yeah.
Which was so weird. Because there was a while where I stopped getting hangovers.
Oh, wow.
For like
Yeah.
a long time. For like 2 years, I didn't get a hangover after drinking, and I was like, I think I beat alcohol, dude. I think I just fucking beat alcohol. And yeah, so I just started doing that, and
I
then
think I beat it.
because there was a while there where like when I first got here, I was doing a lot of coke. And then I kind of stopped doing as much coke for some reason, and then I kind of just stuck with the alcohol. And then the alcohol became big.
Yeah.
And I was smoking a lot of weed, and then I kind of would like tone it down, tone it up, tone
Yeah.
it down. And then for some reason, like a year ago, I just started really like maybe like around 2.5 years ago. It felt like
I love how you
Whoever-
immediately autocorrected.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, a year ago. Okay, it was like,
like two and a half
years
Yeah.
ago.
There was like a year and a half there where I was really like, I don't know, like whoever I was with, like I kind of withdrew myself from my friend group that would occasionally do things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas like for partying, and I kind of just started hanging out with people that were just always doing those
Yeah.
things.
Addicts,
And
yeah.
yeah, for real. And I didn't notice that. And I kind of would have definitely people around me be like, hey, dude.
This is a lot.
I remember when I told somebody I did a Percocet, and I was like, oh, I had to take a Percocet because I felt so terrible. And they were like, don't do that again.
That's not what that's for.
Yeah. They were like,
Did
that's
you just
heroin.
have major surgery? And you're
Yeah.
like, no. And they're like, yeah. Maybe
Do not
don't.
do that. And I was like, what do you mean?
That's so. You're just your base instinct being like, yeah, I took a Percocet because I felt like shit. And-
Yeah.
And then someone else is like, what?
Do not do that. Yeah. Feel like shit, dude. Feel like shit. And then, but see, nothing happens if you take like one Percocet.
Nothing.
Nothing
I tell people
happens.
this all the
Yeah,
time.
nothing happens.
You take one shot, one Percocet, one blunt, like nothing
You're
bad
good.
happens.
You're good.
It's
If you take 2 Percocets, nothing happens.
still, yeah.
Now, if you take like 3 Percocets for 3 days in a row,
And you're drinking on top of
Yeah.
it, then some
You're-
bad shit starts happening.
you're going to have really bad withdrawals.
Yeah.
But yeah, so dude, a funny story, if you don't have me telling you, is like I got free drinks at the clubs, right?
Just real quick. The fact that this show is all this show is about, and you go, funny story, if you don't mind me telling. Yeah, no,
dude,
please.
Dude, can I tell a drinking story?
Please, I
Dude,
would encourage
Can I
it.
tell a crazy story about the time I got fucked up? I was doing spots at a club, and this isn't even funny. So when you kind of mentioned that to me, and I was like,
Yeah, they
I
don't
kinda
have to be funny.
Don't look, but I kind of like it's not funny to me.
Yeah.
And I kind of don't look back on these things as like funny.
Yeah, they're not fond
or
memories.
like no, it's like really bad.
Yeah,
when you think back
it's
about
fucking
it.
terrible.
Yeah, you're like, oh my god. But I was at a club. I won't say which club, just because I don't want to get in trouble. Because the person who books this does not know this happened. But I was just drinking, getting free drinks the whole night. Probably had like 10 tequila sodas.
Damn.
And then there's nobody on the midnight show, and this is at St. Mark's. And so I'm at St. Mark's, and I'm on the midnight show, and I've had like 10 tequila sodas, And
when you say nobody on the midnight show, like no tickets have been sold, or like nobody like
they need an extra comedian.
Okay.
So I'm like,
and you were booked on it originally.
I go to the booker and I'm like, can I do this spot? And they're like I'm so fucked up that they're like, yes, you can. They're like, by all means, this will be funny.
Please.
Yeah.
We encourage it.
Dude, so I go up. I immediately black out.
Damn.
I'm out of it, dude. I don't remember. I remember like 2 or 3 things based on what people have told me.
Were there people in the audience?
All my friends were watching it on the side, and there was like probably like 15, 20 people in the audience. So it's a pretty decent audience.
Yeah, especially
And
for a midnight
apparently
show.
I do like the same bit 3 times in a row. Which I've done sober, dude.
Yeah, I've done it sober too, yeah.
Where I'm just like out of the loop or like even a little bit high. I've definitely done the same bit
even
before.
like sometimes, because I have bits that lead into other bits. So it's muscle
I lose
memory.
where I'm at, yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes
Be careful with that though. Mix it up enough.
That's what I'm saying you have to mix
yeah.
it up, because what will end up happening is
become a robot.
I've done this before too,
Yeah.
where I've gotten on stage and like I open with a call and response.
Yeah.
And so sometimes
What do
people
you mean a call and response?
So I'll ask the audience a question.
Okay.
And wait for
Bro,
a response.
you got it very like.
Yeah.
I don't know any of the words behind
I'm obsessed
anything
with this
I do.
stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. So I open with a call and response, and a lot of times sometimes people will respond with something that I actually have a bit about.
Yeah.
So then I'll do that bit, but after the call and response, there's always a set that I like. There's bits that I go into.
Okay.
Which sometimes are the same bit as me answering. So like the call and response is like, I've been arrested 8 times. I played Division I football, and I've got weird scars all over my body. Anybody want to take a guess where I'm from? And some people go,
That's funny.
Florida.
Yeah.
And then I go into the bit. But then sometimes people will be like, Boston. And I have a bit about people thinking I'm from Boston. So I'll do that, and then I'll go into the Florida material, and then I'll go back to the Boston thing because I'm so used to going from Florida to Boston. So it's like you said, like I've been sober and like doubled up on bits, and I'm like halfway into it, I'm like, fuck, I just did this. I just did this. So you did the same bit 3 times.
Yeah, 3 times, and then I tried to do crowd work.
Oh God.
I think I remember being like, oh, I think I just did that bit, but apparently I had done it twice before I remember that I did it. And then I'm slurring, not making any sense. And then I go to crowd work, and I'm like, what do? And this guy in the audience, he goes, and I've only heard this from other people, but he goes, I'm a professor. And I'm so fucked up, I go, what do you profess? Just funny,
pretty
dude.
funny. That's funny.
Pretty fucking funny, dude. Even like hammered, I was like, that's pretty good.
That's good.
But then when I got off stage, Max Manikoff came on and looked at me, and he was like, are you good, dude? And I was like, and he was kind of cracking up. He was like, are you all right? And then they kind of like made sure I got out safely. And then I went into an Uber, and I'm sitting in the Uber, and I'm going home, and it's like a long ass Uber in New York, the middle of the night, taking forever. And I start to like feel like I'm going to throw up, and I'm really close to my apartment. And the Uber driver, he goes, please don't throw up. I just hear him go, please don't throw up. So I'm just eating my throw up.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh. And then, bro, I get home and never throw up. Immediately, as soon as I get out, I just throw up. I get into my apartment, barely can walk. I throw up in a cup of, like, empty cup by my bed. I throw up in it. And then I wake up the next morning thinking it's water. And I fucking take a sip of it, dude. And it's my throw up. And I threw up again, dude.
Yeah, I've been doing the show 3 years. Never once has anybody made me gag like that.
Isn't that disgusting?
Oh, my God. Yeah, dude. And I know that feeling of, like, waking up. Did you get... So a couple things that are interesting to me about that story is one of the most disheartening things that can happen in my experience when I was drinking was someone like a Max Manikoff, someone who's like a friend who does party themselves.
But it's
when
more
they,
it's not
when they
insane,
look you in the eye and they go, are you good?
Yeah, what's going on, dude?
Yeah, you're like...
Which I had so much of that, dude, because I had a friend, too, tell me one time we were smoking weed, and I was smoking, and then I kind of just, like, was on so many other pills that for some reason just didn't hit right. So I kind of just sank into the couch after like 2 hits of weed. But I was on like a Percocet and a Xanax, and I had just done coke. So I was like coming down.
Your body doesn't know what the fuck.
Yeah, I'm coming down so hard. And then he's like, I've never seen someone get so affected by weed before. And he doesn't know for the last 6 months he's known me, I've been doing every drug under the sun. So, and I had to be like, yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I don't think I can handle weed. And I was on so many fucking drugs.
This weed is crazy.
Yeah.
God. So after that show, does anything like? Do you get a call from a booker?
No. But when I show up the next day,
how was that next day? Were you dying?
Yeah, bro, I was dying all the time
Yeah.
for a while there. I was just like feeling terrible all
Every
the
day.
time. Yeah, I was just
Gotta
like,
do a
oh my
Percocet.
god, yeah, for
Because I
real,
feel like
dude.
shit.
Yeah. And then an Adderall
Yeah.
or some Coke if I don't have fucking Adderall.
Dude, I used to wake up because I would pour 3 or 4 shots at a time because my anxiety, I couldn't just have one shot glass, and I would pass
Crazy.
out on the couch, and then I would wake up and 2 of the shot glasses would still be full, and I'd be like, gotta get up, like
Yeah.
gotta get going,
Yeah.
just bang out shots, and people were like, what's wrong with you? I was like, you guys don't do that for breakfast? Like, come on,
Yeah.
what are we doing?
Crazy. It's crazy when you see it happening. And I've been in the person too where I had a roommate who was really, really like alcoholic.
Yeah.
And I never even understood that's what it was. But he would go to work with a fucking like Stanley of vodka with ice.
Yeah.
And just sip on it all day. And I'd be like, this guy's the man. I was like, this guy's a fucking legend, dude.
It's crazy how it can, because I perceived myself that way for a long time. When I'd like go to work, so I'd do like 2 or 3 shots to be able to get to work without like shaking.
Yeah.
And then I'd be at work, and I worked at a breakfast place, and I would keep a water bottle, a Zephyrhills water bottle of
Yeah.
vodka in my trunk in Florida in the summer, and then in between the breakfast and lunch rush, I would go out to my car, smoke a cigarette, and then just chug the hot vodka.
Crazy.
Because I was like, and in my head, I was like, this is what fucking legends are made of. And then looking back on it, I was like, that's so
You're a
sad.
loser, dude.
That's
Yeah,
so
I look at it and I'm
sad.
like, dude, you're going through it and you don't even know. That's the funniest thing is you're going through it really bad and you're just like, I'm the man.
Yeah. Oh, they don't want to hang out with me because they can't hang.
Yeah, these
dog.
pussies, dude. They're all a
Bunch of
pussies,
pussies.
dude. If I pull out what I got on me, they're not gonna fucking be able to do it, dude.
They're not gonna even
They
talk to
can't
me
hang,
anymore.
bro. Yeah.
So then, how long ago was that at the club, St. Mark's?
Yeah, St. Mark's. That was probably like maybe like 2 years ago now.
Time check that. All right.
It's odd at it. Maybe like a year. Dude, I don't know time, bro.
Well, no, I
It's
only
like a
asked because
blur.
how long from that to you deciding to get sober?
Yeah, so probably like within 5 months. 4
Okay.
or 5 months after that.
Okay.
And it went worse, dude.
Yeah, it got
But I
worse.
did kind of sober up around the club. I was like, no alcohol, just drugs.
I mean, that is
Yeah.
a level of sobering up.
But dude,
there's
going-
a lot of people who get on stage and say they're sober and do that method.
What?
Where they go, no alcohol, but they'll do all sorts of drugs, and then they get on stage and they're like, I've been sober for 10 years. And you're like, all right, cool.
Yeah. A lot of people do that, which I don't care. Do you
Yeah,
get
I
annoyed by that?
I do. But
Really?
Yeah.
No, you can't.
I
dude.
get annoyed because you can fix it with 2 words. Say, I don't drink. 3 words. That's all you got to
Yeah.
do. But it hits harder if you say sober. You know why? Because being sober is a lot fucking harder.
Yeah, it's hard for sure.
That's why it annoys me, though, because
Yeah.
it's like stolen valor. It's like, no.
There's
no.
no valor to being sober, dude. What are you talking about?
I'm just saying the audience. You're right. It's stupid.
Yeah.
I'm super pretentious. I get super mad about like the dumbest shit.
Yeah, dude.
It's so
You
funny
can't-
because
you
someone
can't
could
do
go
that,
on
yeah.
stage and bomb, but if I'm laughing, I'm like, dude, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
And they're like, the whole audience didn't think it was funny. And then someone could go up and crush, and then they come off stage and I go, you humped a stool, like you're a fucking hack.
Yeah, dude. First
I'm
of all,
so twisted in my brain about how this is,
No,
and
that's
everyone's
right.
like, no, you're supposed to make the audience laugh. That's kind of the job.
Do you actually? I know. I used to be like that. I used to really watch people and be like, judge them.
Yeah.
And now I don't.
I don't do it anymore.
Yeah, I don't
Since
even care.
I did it really hard in Florida, and then when I
Yeah.
moved to New York,
Yeah,
I was
same.
pretty pretentious.
Yeah.
But the longer I've been in New York, the more I've, like you said earlier, I've just kind of had to focus on what I'm doing.
Yeah,
I can't worry about what everybody else is
I don't
doing.
even focus on what I'm doing. I'm just not even. People are like, don't think about others so you can focus on yourself. Just don't think about others.
Just,
don't even
yeah,
throw,
just cruise.
watch YouTube videos,
Yeah.
dude. That's
Just
what I say.
chill and watch
Yeah,
YouTube.
for real, dude.
So what ended up happening? You said it was about 5
Yes.
months later. What happened for you to be like, all right, I got to
Well, first of all, I went back in and then to that club.
Yeah.
And then like
St. Mark's, yeah.
Max called me the next morning and was like, told me the whole story. My friend Julio calls me, tells me the whole story, and I'm like, oh my god. And then I see my friend Marcelo and the next night, and he starts going into me, dude, like so hard. And then he's like, "Are you drinking tonight?" And I'm like, "Probably not gonna do that." And he was like, "You should probably never drink again."
Shout out
Yeah,
Marcelo.
Marcelo's so funny, dude. And he just like called me out. And I
You
was
should
like,
probably never do that again.
yeah. And
I could
was
hear
like-
him saying it
yeah,
with
yeah,
his
for real,
cadence.
yeah, for real. And I was like, fuck, dude. And then, yeah,
When a kid from South Florida is telling you that, you're like, ah, shit.
yeah. And Marcelo would drink too. Like back in the day, we used to get fucked up. I don't think he does as much anymore, but like, yeah, when he said that, I was like, he roasted me hard, dude. And I was just kind of like, okay, dude, if Marcelo's
Party's over.
when Marcelo's like giving you the attention to be like, hey, you should not do that because he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But when he's like, hey, please don't
I'm
do
actually-
that. Yeah,
this
yeah.
is-
He's like, actually, I mean,
You kind of
like,
crossed the line
yeah,
now.
he's like, for you,
I have to get
You're
involved.
going to die. Like, yeah. So I kind of took that as a mental note, and I would change, but I never would think that I couldn't stop drinking. I was like, and then I had people in my life. The lady I lived with at the time, she like got me a sick deal on an apartment. And I was staying with her, and then she was heavily involved in Alcoholics Anonymous, and she kind of started. I never put it together until like recently, but before it even gotten to the point where I was really, really bad, she saw it, and she was like, you should come to a meeting with me. And I was like, sure, I'll go to a meeting. And then I went and I was like, this is fucking weird. But I never thought like why she would invite me because for a while there, she never invited me.
Yeah.
But then randomly one day she was like, you should come.
Yeah, it's not a bringer show. She's not asking you because she wants you to be there. She's
not asking you to hang out with you.
Yeah, exactly.
She's like, actually just
you should probably check this out.
Before I had even gone down to the level I had gotten to. And
you can see that as someone who's been sober for a year now, and I've been sober for a while. You can kind of see it coming. There's certain people where you hang out with and you go, I see what you're doing, and it's not that bad right now, but I see the kind of habits that you have and the kind of things you're doing.
Thinking and
the thinking that you have. This could go really bad really quickly.
100%.
So you went to a meeting. And then you were like, fuck this.
And I was like, this is a cult.
Yeah.
Which it is.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it doesn't work.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. I say it all the time.
It's just a cult, dude. But it works. Cults work, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, cults work. Tom Cruise wouldn't be Tom Cruise without that cult.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. They really make you buckle down.
I mean, they make you really look inside yourself.
You know what the biggest thing about it makes me think it's a cult is the step is it step 5 where you have to tell your sponsor?
That's 5.
That's 5. See, I've done the steps.
Nailed it.
Fuck yeah. Step 5 where you have to tell your sponsor the bad things you've done.
Yeah.
That's
a
also
searching and fearless moral
but that's
inventory.
also in Scientology.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, dude.
A little bit of a crossover.
Yeah, when you notice
Jamestown,
that. Yeah, a lot of A people
Waco.
will hear this
I'm just
and be
naming
like,
things I think are cults.
Yeah. My family. The comedy community.
Comedy is a cult too.
It's
man.
all cults, bro.
I mean, listen to me. I'm over here fucking like call and response, crowd work, blah blah blah.
Yeah, I'm
don't be hacky. It's like shut the fuck up.
No, dude, you're good. It's very like I should be like that.
I drank the Kool-Aid a long time ago.
Dude, I drank the Kool-Aid and then I fucking
threw it up.
Yeah, I threw it up, dude. Drink the Kool-Aid, telling you. If you don't want to be
I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's like, it makes more sense on the Kool-Aid. Because if you think about it abstractly, it's like, oh, my whole job, my whole career path, the thing I want to do the most in this world is elicit a human response using only my words. And when you think about it like that, you're like, yeah, why wouldn't you hump the stool? Why wouldn't you do act outs? Why wouldn't you do impressions? Like that. What I'm saying is it's a lot simpler when you don't drink the Kool-Aid. When you're just like, yeah, I just go up there to try to make people laugh. It's a lot easier. But when you drink the Kool-Aid and you're like, no, I got to say something deeper and darker, but also make them laugh. It's so much harder.
I try to avoid that, dude. Yeah. I've been in that place before where I'm like, I got to say some real shit on stage. But then I forget that I'm a moron. So I just have to check myself and be like, everything you should say up there should be stupid. Yeah. Because you are stupid.
Should be a reflection of you.
Because I don't ever want to go up there. I don't ever want to be in any position where I'm on stage like
preaching.
Preach, bro. Yeah. Because my stepdad is a preacher and my real dad was also a preacher. So I'm like, I want to avoid that at all costs because
filled up your gas tank.
Because I'm a hypocrite, dude. Like, yeah, it's so funny.
Thanks, Dale.
It's Dwayne, dude.
Dwayne, yeah. So close. That's a good fucking callback for.
Yeah, it's pretty good. They have no idea. Yeah, pretty good. Dale's pretty good. Dale would be a funny name too, dude.
Because I just thought Southern Dale.
Bro. He's a good guy, dude. I feel bad about those jokes.
No, I mean those jokes are funny though.
Yeah, he's a nice guy though. I love him.
Yeah,
he's a sweetheart.
So what ends up happening? You have the conversation with Max and Marcelo and Julio.
Nothing happens. I just stopped drinking as much at the club.
Okay.
I take it down from 10 to like 5.
So for 5 months, you're just like, I'm just gonna relax at the club.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But then also I get to the point where I start having
5 is still a lot for most people.
I'm still like, I need to tone it down just a little bit, dude. So I'm like, okay, don't drink until like right before you go on stage.
Yeah.
And then after you get off stage, get out of there and go drink somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like that simple. And
it's your workplace. You don't want to,
100%. And then I start just really I start drinking during the day. I start dude, because I started to get shakes when I was in rehab. I would get shakes, dude. Like little ones, nothing crazy, but just like I would be like, "What is going on with me right now? Am I dying?" And they'd be like, "You're fine."
Dude, I was a server, so coming down off alcohol, trying to serve a martini, and you're like,
how would you go to work, dude? Yeah,
you have to drink. I would have to
How
drink.
would your mind just go, I'm not going to go to fucking work?
Oh, so towards the end, that happened a lot.
Yeah.
I would either show up hammered, and I've only been sent home a handful of times for as often as I showed up drunk. But you show up just drunk enough to like get through the shift, and then it's fun. You're like, I'm kind of drunk. We're hanging
Really?
out, yeah, because you like you're friends with you get your work friends.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, it's a restaurant, so everyone's like dicking around. We had a lot of regulars, so we were like having fun with them, and then. The shifts in the restaurant world are not that long. Like even when at the breakfast place, like I'd get there at like 8 a.m, but then I'd be out by like 2. So then it was just like
you could chill.
the rest of my day to drink. Yeah.
Crazy.
So for you start toning it down. You were getting shakes.
Yeah, I started to get shakes. I started to have really bad Percocet withdrawals because I started doing Percocet a couple times every week, and then I would go through like 5 days of like feeling like I'm dying, dude. Like feeling like your mind's going insane. Your mind's running a million miles a minute in bed, just like shaking, even though it's hot.
You're freezing, but you're sweating
all the time. Yeah. And then you can't go do another spot, or you can't even go outside without taking more.
Were you
Percocet.
canceling spots at this point?
No, I never canceled a spot.
Good for you,
canceled more spots sober than I ever have. Because I wanted that $100. Because I was like, all I have to do is like $10, $15 minutes of material.
Yeah.
And I can get that $100.
And you have 15. You could do 15.
Survive.
Fucking blackout. Yeah.
100%.
You have done.
Yeah. It's really easy actually. When you get to a certain point where you're
Well,
like,
we were talking about earlier. Once you get in that
minutes.
robotic motion, you can like
do decently well.
Yeah.
Like you can do pretty good.
Because you have bits that hit, and you know they're gonna hit.
Yeah.
You just say them.
Yeah, exactly. You can just like be like, thank God I wrote jokes 2 years ago.
Thank God I have this material from 5 years ago.
Yeah, for real, dude. But yeah, so I started to get really bad Percocet withdrawals. Started to there was a lot of fun nights in that too, dude. Like one night I was with my boys Ricky and Julio, and we were fucked up. And then for some reason, the club, The Stand, Adele gave us a bottle. Just gave us a bottle for the night. And we were like, because Ricky would always be like, yo, Peter, ask them for a bottle. And I'd be like, can we get a bottle? And she would sometimes be like, here you go. And just give us a bottle. And I got so fucked up one night, dude, that for some reason I started showing my friends my mom's Instagram because I'm like, look at my mom's Instagram. Isn't this wild? And then Ricky grabs it and comments under it. He's like, you're hot, mom. Comments it.
On your phone.
On my phone. So it's my Instagram telling my own mom that she's hot.
Yeah.
Then he hands it back to me and I'm like, oh, God. So I delete it as fast as possible. Still up for 5 minutes. She probably still got the notification.
Yeah.
And then I go to bed, dude. And I ended up waking up with my Tim's on in bed, dude. That's like how fucked up I was. I woke up with Tim's on in bed, and I was like, what is going on? And then I get a call from my mom immediately. And she's like, hey, Peter, just want to ask you about that Instagram comment you left me the other night.
She did see it.
Yeah.
Oh, my
And
God.
I was like, sorry, my friend stole my phone. But it's still like one of the funniest things that's ever happened to me. But in the moment, dude, I was like, I got to just explain to my mom how I don't think she's hot right now. Gotta explain to my mom. I'm not
Mom,
trying
I
to
love
fuck.
you.
Yeah.
You're very supportive.
Mom, I
love
think
Dwayne,
you.
but
Yeah, I'm not trying to break up your guys' relationship right now. I think you guys are great. I have somebody I'm interested in. I'm not
hilarious.
coming for you, Mom.
Ricky is hilarious, dude.
It's so
That's
crazy.
so funny.
Another night too, dude. We got fucked up, and like one of my friends made like pork chops. And I was so fucked up, dude. I woke up the next day in my bed, and I had like 6 pork chops bones in my pocket.
Just chilling.
And I pulled him out, and I was like, what? And he was like, I called my friend. He was like, yeah, dude, you just, after like the 3rd pork chop, you just started putting the bones in
So
your
you were just
pocket.
taking people's bones and putting them in your
No, I
pocket?
was putting my own bones. I ate like
You ate 6 pork chops?
Yeah, we were crushing them, dude. And I just put the bones in my pocket.
That's
And then I woke up the
crazy.
next day, and I was like, why do I always put pork chops? So mentally
So
ill,
what
dude.
ends up happening to where you decided to get sober? Was it like a big epic thing, or were you just like, I'm tired of this?
The lady I was living with was like, hey, she started to be like, okay, dude, you need to really go. And I kind of really realized I needed to go too.
Yeah.
Because the withdrawals were like intense.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know what to do. So I started going to AA meetings. I kind of built this guy, Bobby, fucking really helped me out. He would drive me around to the AA meetings in like Yonkers because I was living in the Bronx. So he would drive me around. Took me to a ton of meetings. We tried to do like, okay, let's go to a meeting every morning because I have shows at night.
Yeah.
This is easy. I can do this. And then I would just go to meetings, but then I would go like 14 days, and then I would be out somewhere, and for some reason I would just drink.
Yeah.
I would do like, okay, and then I would break and do a bunch
In
of
those
drugs.
spurts of sobriety, were you feeling better?
No.
Okay.
It was so short periods that I felt terrible.
Yeah.
I never felt better. Like really, really good.
And that's the hardest place to be.
Yeah,
I say
yeah.
it all the time. It's so much easier to stay sober than to get sober.
100%. 100%.
Because-
I don't know how people do it without going to like a rehab.
Dude, those first 2 weeks are fucking
Brutal.
rough.
Yeah, yeah. You're going through withdrawals. You're going through everything. You can't
Your
take
dopamine's all fucked up. You have
You're miserable, dude.
There's some days I used to wake up just sobbing for no reason. Like,
Yeah,
well,
you're
for
just-
obviously for a reason, but like,
Yeah.
you know what I
Just fucked
mean?
up,
Like,
yeah.
and I mean, I'm an emotional person. It's, you know, with the bipolar and everything, I'll watch TV and I'll cry at a commercial.
Yeah.
Like Nike has this new commercial where it's like really intense for the Olympics, and it's like winning's not for everybody. And I'm like, this is fucking right, man.
Yeah,
You're
winning,
so right.
dude. Everybody else is losers.
But so like I'm still like that to this day. Like it's my natural personality.
Yeah.
But dude, when I was
Football
coming down, man, I would see like a gum commercial and like be in a fetal position, like sobbing.
I never did that.
But I'm saying like
Yeah.
the first 2 weeks, man,
You're
it was
crazy. You don't know how you're
fucked
gonna
up.
react. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
impossible. So I would go like a week. I did hit a couple. Like I got to like 14 days one time.
Yeah.
And then I broke really hard. Same shit. Did Coke, Percocet, Xanax. Went and got it. For some, especially in those early days, whenever I would break, it would be like such a break. I wasn't able to just like have a drink and be
Yeah.
like, I shouldn't have had that drink.
Yeah, it's that.
You know what I mean?
think a lot of it has to do, from my experience, it was the mental thing where it's like, well, I'm already doing it, so I might as well do it.
Yeah, and I wanted to do it that whole 2
Yeah.
weeks because I was feeling so miserable, and I had to kind of not hang around certain people, and I miss those people. A funny thing too, dude, is like in that last year, every girl I would hang out with, we would do the same thing. We would just sit in an apartment and do drugs together. And then, like, within 2 weeks, I'd be like, I think this girl is bad for me. So I'd stop hanging out with her, and then I'd meet a new girl, and we
Same
would just
thing.
do the same thing. And I'd be like, all these fucking women are trying to ruin me. But then, like, if I think back about it,
finally
it would just,
look in the mirror and you
bro,
go,
it'd
wait,
just
it's this
be me
guy.
and the girl, and she would do, like, a line. I'd do, like, 5, and I'd be like, you're not going to do more lines, you pussy. Just calling a girl that I'm in love with a pussy. You're not going to do more coke? You're
You went
fucking
from
weak,
calling
dude.
him a whore to a pussy.
Yeah. You're fucking weak, dude.
Winning's not for everybody, I
Yeah,
guess.
it's not, bro. But yeah, then I kind of just couldn't get sober. And then the lady I was living with was like, hey, you're not getting this and you're going to die. And she was like, I need you to like get away from me because you're fucking such a mess right now. And then I kind of was like, okay, I'm going to get out of here. I went to the girl's house that I was seeing, and I showed up there like super late, and I was like, hey, I think I'm going to go to a rehab. Somebody I knew was like, you should go to this rehab, and they'll let you in, say this name, and you'll get in. And I was like, okay, cool. I'll do that. And then I took a couple days to party.
Yeah, of course.
I was like, let me fucking have a good time. And then I went to this girl's house, and I was like, should I go to this rehab? And she was like, if you're even thinking about it, you should.
You have, yeah.
Yeah, you should. So I didn't even go back to my apartment because I was like, there's too many drugs there. I have too much shit there. That's just going to, like, I have cash there. I have money there. I'm just going to fucking keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I was just like, okay, let me just go. My friend came and picked me up and drove me to Long Island, and I just checked myself in a rehab. Thank God I did, because I couldn't. It wasn't like the alcohol. I think you can beat the shakes, but even though that can kill you, but I wasn't that
Yeah.
bad. But I was like the like Percocets, dude, would like. I didn't want to go through it again either.
Which is interesting you say that, because the Percocets won't kill you,
Yeah.
but you feel like you're going,
You're
to,
going
die.
to die worse than the alcohol.
Whereas the alcohol will kill you, but you
you'll-
can almost like be
you'll
like, I'll tough it
literally-
out. Yeah.
The alcohol, you'll literally just fall and have a seizure and
Yeah,
die.
yeah.
And not even know anything's wrong. You'll
Yeah.
just like feel dizzy.
And then,
apparently,
boom.
And then
You
you're
see
just
spots,
gone.
but yeah.
That's the worst.
I've had
yeah,
quite
you'll
a
have
few-
shakes and
yeah.
shit like that. But then like I knew a guy in rehab who just fainted and spotted out, but he was fine.
Yeah.
And they were like,
then
oh no,
just-
yeah, he just dipped out.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh wow. Crazy.
That shit's
But
nuts.
then what's the thing they put you on to get off of like heroin and oxy?
Suboxone.
Suboxone. They put me on some. Dude, Suboxone is stronger than any drug I've ever taken.
Yeah,
I
we
was
were talking about this the other night.
fucked up on
The-
Suboxone,
yeah,
dude.
Suboxone will fuck your
Dude,
day
if
up.
I ever get my hands on Suboxone, I am relapsing because that shit was. And they give it out to you legally. You
Yeah.
can legally take Suboxone.
It's the newer version of methadone.
It's just fucking drugs.
So,
dude.
well, but
It's
that's what I'm
crazy.
saying is like, so they used to give you methadone instead
Yeah,
of
give you a
heroin,
little bit of
because
methadone.
people were so scared of coming off of heroin.
Yeah.
They give you methadone. Now it's just Suboxone. It's just like
Yeah.
a stronger version of methadone, but it's strong.
Crazy, dude. It's kind of sick, bro.
So you get out and then you just start living a clean, healthy life.
Yeah, I mean, it was really fucking. Started working at it, like, totally changed my life, dude. I was like, okay, I'm gonna have no stand-up gigs. I came out being like, my life is over.
Did you call anybody before? Because I wasn't allowed to have a phone. So when I went into rehab, it was kind of just on, like,
I mean, I had some cash when I went into rehab,
Yeah.
so you can get quarters. We would have to put quarters in.
Yeah.
And then I wrote everybody's number from my phone down.
Oh, see, that's smart. See, I didn't have.
I wrote everybody's number, which is smart and not smart. Some people you just shouldn't call. And I remember I didn't really tell anybody. I told Patrick from the stand, which is really funny, the booker, and then I told my manager at the time, and then my mom. That was it. And I just dipped the fuck out.
Yeah, because you were gone for a while.
Gone for like a month.
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah. What was that? Did anybody I heard people were talking crazy shit.
Because I remember being like, I haven't seen Peter in a while, and someone was like, "Yeah, I think he went to like rehab or something."
Really? That's
yeah.
fire.
And I was like, "Oh, good for him."
Yeah.
To be honest with you, though, because we've spent not a ton of time together. We're not like best friends, but whenever we see each other, we hang out. I honestly, to your point, and I mean, I don't want to say to your credit because that's almost a positive affirmation, but like, I had I knew you liked to party, no idea that you were like my kind of level, like, oh, he's like sick.
Yeah.
I was just like, he's a young kid, likes to fucking get after it. Good for him. He's a legend.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Kid's the man. And deep inside, I'm like, I'm dying
I'm
right
gonna
now.
die. Dude, well, congratulations on the year, man.
Yeah, it means nothing to me because I'm so afraid that I'm going to just fall apart. So I'm not making a big deal about it because I don't want to look like a hypocrite, and I don't talk about it at all. I never talk about being sober unless it's somebody else who's sober. Mm-hmm. I never talk about it because I'm like so fucking afraid that because I want to so bad so many nights just do fucking like cocaine off a hooker's ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's so many nights where I just want to go crazy.
It's interesting you say that. When I first got sober, I told everybody. I was like, I am the second coming of Christ. I figured it all out. And then I would relapse all the time.
I removed myself from like all my friends, dude.
Yeah.
Like when they came back to like when I got out of rehab to hang out with me, I kind of like put a wall up and I was like, I don't want to hang out with you guys. And I think I kind of like was really scared to be around them because I was like, dude, I'm just going to fucking like do worse.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want you guys around me at all. And now I'm at the point where I kind of worked on rebuilding those relationships and everything's kind of back to where it was, which is really interesting.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Took a long time. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I was like, I don't want anybody around me at all. I was so scared. I got a job at like a grocery store because I was like, this is my life now.
Yeah.
Comedy is over. I went into rehab being like, I'm done with the business because I've just been so insane the last like the last couple months. And then I got a grocery store job and then it started going really well. And then people were like more than happy to be like,
got
help
promoted
me out.
to manager?
Dude, I run a BJ's now. No, but
How funny.
I don't do stand-up anymore. I run a BJ's.
You could check him out at, the local BJ's.
I make $27,000 a year, work 80 hours a week.
Yeah, God.
And I'm crushing it.
So when
I
you
have 3 kids too, by the way. Can I have some money?
Plot twist. So when you came out, you had no anticipation of people like welcoming you back into the community and stuff like that as far as stand-up?
I mean, some people were like, my manager and like Patrick and stuff like that were like, a lot of people were really there.
Supportive, yeah.
Patrick sent me a bunch of spots to be like, let's get you back on your feet. Let's get you back in the rotation. Everybody was actually so cool.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. And I did not expect it. And I was like, I'm done with the biz. And I remember talking to my manager in rehab. And I was like, it's over for me, dude. I ruined everything. And he was like, what are you talking about? Every comedian should be in rehab right now. And I was like, that's so true, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, that's so fucking true. And then I came back and it was like, everything was cool. The harder part about it wasn't the first couple months. It's like when you get out of that and you kind of have to start like realizing why you did all those crazy things because it wasn't. I feel like that shit just like brings out.
It's just a symptom.
Deeper shit. Yeah, for sure. So
the drinking and the drugs is merely a symptom of what's deeper.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've had to go on a weird fucking gay journey, dude, of being like, who am I? And
so gay.
Why do I do these things? And I hate every bit of it, dude.
Me too.
I hate it, dude. I don't want to do it.
But I have to. I have to still to this day.
Yeah.
And now, I just got 6 years and it's crazy to be like I'll tell people stories and they're like, you? I'm like, yeah. Like when I have that bit about like putting my head through a guy's car window when he was flirting with my sister, people are like,
he was what, your sister?
He was flirting with my sister.
Oh, just flirting. I thought you said something else.
No,
like,
he was flirting with my sister.
Just poked your head in to look, dude?
What's going on?
What's going on?
Yeah, I commented on her Instagram. I was like, you're hot.
We've all done that before.
To a family member. Maybe our mom. Dude, this was so much fun. Thank you so much for coming on, man.
Dude, thank you for having me.
Of
bro.
course.
This
Plug
is
everything
great.
one more time.
Follow me on Instagram at Peter James Fowler and at TikTok at Peter James Fowler.
Beautiful. Thank you, everybody, so much for listening. At Brennan T Comedy on all social media.
Sorry.
Dude,
bro.
no, you're
Sorry.
good. Oh, that's such a cool picture.
I have it on Do Not Disturb.
Brennan T Comedy on all social media. BrennanTComedy.com. Get your merch at the merch store. BrennanTComedy.com/merch-store. And we'll talk to y'all next week.
Fire. Dude, this was sick.